The voices on both sides of the battle over reproductive rights are loud and proud. Events like this pro-life rally at the state capitol just as common as pro-choice rallies. And recently, Marshall and I had the chance to sit down with Ilyse Hogue, the national president of NARAL.
Give some background on NARAL. What should people know that they don't know?
We are the oldest political reproductive rights organization in the country, founded in 1969. Our mission is around giving women the full range of options around their reproductive destiny, including access to contraception, accurate sex education, access to a safe and legal abortion, as well as bearing healthy children.
So political, obviously, in that description. We know that you spoke at the DNC in favor of Hillary Clinton. You also gave a very personal story during that speech. Why did you do that?
It's an excellent question. It's not something I ever aspired to do particularly, but it did seem to be what the moment called for. I mean, we've got a Republican ticket right now that is saying openly what we know our opponents have thought for a long time, that women who make our own reproductive decisions, access abortion, we're dangerous. We need to be punished. And I felt like it was time. I had the privilege of having the stage to get up there and share that that was a decision I made. It was right for me and my family at the time. And we're not just bad girls who have abortions and good girls who have families. We're the same women at different points in our lives, making different decisions, and public policy and politicians should support that.
You've called the Trump-Pence ticket, I think you've adjusted the red hat a little bit to the Make Misogyny Great Again ticket. Is there any middle ground if you had to deal with a Trump-Pence administration?
That's an excellent question. I don't see it, and I'm not going to go looking for it. I actually am deeply, deeply concerned, not only by the rhetoric, but, you know, Donald Trump said, look, I'm not a policy expert. I'll surround myself by policy experts. He picked Mike Pence, who is arguably the most anti-woman politician in the country right now. Everything Trump has said he wants to, Pence has actually done in Indiana. So I don't see a lot of middle ground there. I would love to see them supporting access to contraception. I would love to see them supporting common sense policies that help working moms. By the way, 6 in 10 women who seek abortions are already moms trying to take care of the families that they have. I don't see them doing that. I actually see their candidacy and their governing philosophy to be a proxy for control. They want to control women, they want to control our lives, they want to control the way our families look, and that's not really just anti-woman, it's anti-American, where we embrace plurality and individual decision-making.
And NARAL is not just about the abortion issue. I know that because you're a political organization, you look at a whole lot of other areas that can be impacted by this presidential election. What's the #1 issue for NARAL right now?
Well, I mean, the #1 issue is actually this idea of probably, I would say, all of reproductive health, but as it translates into this election, the Supreme Court. So the next president will have at least 1, up to 3 Supreme Court picks. We have seen what an activist court can do. There is an opportunity to actually put justices on the highest court of the land that would uphold the rule of law over their own personal ideology. This would not only affect abortion rights, as we know that often goes to the court, but it would affect women's equality broadly. It would affect voting rights. And I think in order to move our country forward, where we embrace diversity, where we understand what equal opportunity means, we have to have a court that supports good policy, and this president will have that in the balance.
How do the state offices differ in their role? Let's talk Colorado. What does Colorado do that you don't do in D.C., or how does Colorado help what you do in D.C.?
We work in great partnership with Karen Middleton, who is our state executive director. We think the state legislatures are critically important on all sorts of issues. Not only are states laboratories of democracy, but they're also where the harm happens to be coming from a lot. Now, in Colorado, for example, you guys have a split chamber. And if we actually had the Senate under Democratic pro-choice control, we could talk sensibly about how to advance reproductive freedoms, understand the integral role it plays in professional opportunity, economic security. Instead, our state office spends a lot of time, as do Colorado voters, playing defense. We reject personhood over and over again, and yet we see those things being brought up, as unpopular as they are, through the state legislature. It's time to move forward, which is why we work hand in hand with our state office to make sure that all the way from the bottom of the ticket to the top of the ticket, voters' wishes are represented.
Do you ever see a time where this will become a non-issue?
I do actually, if people start to ask the tough questions. You know, one of the things that we know is that most people, the vast majority of people, particularly in Colorado, but nationwide, support safe and legal access to abortion. And more than that, they actually don't send their elected representatives to the state houses or to Washington, D.C. to roll back freedoms that we actually understand as sacrosanct. So when you point out that Scott Tipton or Mike Kaufman has actually spent more time and taxpayer money trying to defund Planned Parenthood, roll back health care, that really makes voters angry. So we try and get that record in front of voters, make sure that they're electing people who are saying, we respect our constituents' rights to make their own decisions, and we're going to advance personal liberties, jumpstart the economy, get our infrastructure set, and not spend time on bogus investigations into fetal tissue. And I think when we do that, and when people see their elected representatives reflecting those wishes, this will be a non-issue.
This may be unfair because we only have about 30 seconds, but I've always been curious. What's most insulting about men always sponsoring legislation dealing with a woman's reproductive rights?
That they don't have parity with their own. You know, every time they limit contraception, I would love to see them limit Viagra.
I want to see that bill too then.
Ilyse Hogue.
Let's have that argument and see how that goes. Why not?
What a great ending to our conversation. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.